So Jack and I were there evacuating these three young lads in this vehicle, and they were hugging and kissing and high-fiving at the end, and Jack did an absolute stellar job. But I need to tell the world, what you see, what we do here, this is a very small fraction of what our frontline evacuation boys go through on a daily basis, several times a day. We were attacked once today by a helicopter. There was a broken down vehicle and there were lots of lads pushing it. A drone must have seen them and a helicopter dropped a cluster munition on us. But imagine that happening every single time. These guys need armored vehicles, etc., etc.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome tonight. 9:35 p.m. here in Ukraine. Let me get Yana directly in here with me. Yana, I've got to re-push it to yours. My whole thing
Okay,
went.
thanks.
I'll get it.
Got it. Thanks.
Once you get talking, I'll do that.
Okay, awesome.
So, good morning, good evening. It's horrible. We lost a hero. And for those of you here, this is Yana, Pete's administrator for Project Konstantin. So, Yana, welcome.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for helping us with, and helping Pete and to get this all worked out and sorted out.
I have. You're welcome. Number one, I've not streamed. I've not done anything. I shouldn't have played that intro.
Yeah.
The purpose of the stream tonight, everybody, is to update you and the world. Please share this. Please share this on your Twitter and your social media. And I'm getting ready to push it to Project Konstantin. Guys,
Please
I
do.
I am in Kyiv. I have no power. I am sitting in a very hot apartment, and I left Khmelnytsky, Ukraine this morning at 2:30. I woke up at 2:30. We left at 3:30. At 8:30, we were in our first meetings in Kyiv. And I'm going to share the day with you guys. I want to share today, and I want to share tomorrow. That's the purpose of this stream. If for some reason it disconnects, it disconnects. But we're making it. Zhenya, we have hooked our internet to an Echo Flow, and my laptop was dead because I had no power in my home in Khmelnytsky. So I go to fire the stream or prepare real quickly. We just got here from all the stuff we've done today, and my laptop's dead. So there is a cigarette lighter on the Echo Flow. I'm running an American inverter out of the Echo Flow. I have the wireless router behind me here on the floor. The Echo Flow dragged across, the wireless router plugged in, the laptop plugged into an inverter into the Echo Flow. And this is my light. That's Ukraine, guys. Yana, you make your first comments about Pete, about what's happening. Speak for Galina, and let me push your stream.
Okay, I'll wait for you to push the stream through first, I think.
Well, it's going to take me a minute because I have no bandwidth, so I'm trying to fix it. So just start. We will have my stream to push yours anyway. Just hang on. Let me do my best here.
Yeah, so It's been 8 days now, basically. Um, and yeah, it still doesn't feel real. Or at least like now it's like we know it's real, but it's kind of like, does it have to be kind of thing? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Halina and myself, we are working very hard behind the scenes to make sure everything is happening and going the way it's supposed to go. And stop growling at me, dog. Yeah, so it's yeah,
Give, give me
we
10
are
more.
going to
Give me
continue
10 more
to help.
seconds, and I'm going to have your stream pushed, I believe, and then I'll help
We're
you.
going to yeah, we're going to continue to help the guys, obviously, and going to continue Project Konstantin. But yeah, it's basically just
Your stream is pushing.
going on with everything. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The stream is pushing now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Guys, so let's start with this. It is time for us to share. Thank you for being here. I see Rick the Ukrainian in the chat. Buddy, I'll see you tomorrow. All of our moderators, all of you wonderful people, all the new people that have joined from Twitter, everywhere, Project Constantine, everywhere. Guys, thank you. Here's the deal. On June the 27th, I crossed the border into Ukraine. And when I crossed the border into Ukraine, Mertzi was traveling with me, and he's been here helping and volunteering and getting to know Ukraine. Tone also has been here, Rick's mod, a wonderful lady. I met her through Mertzi in a photo. I crossed into Lviv, and there was a soldier that came down the steps at the train station, and Mertzi started talking to him. At this point, we knew nothing, and he was from Colombia, could speak very little English, of course, no Ukrainian. I called my daughter and woke her up at 3 in the morning to translate. I connected him to a Frontline soldier, call sign Wolf, who's Colombian. Made their connection, put him on his train, and sent him to the war. We then came up to grab the train to head more into Ukraine. I had received a text message from Peter just a little while, within an hour before that. And he said, "Yay!" exclamation points. "I'm glad you're here. Your bed is waiting on you on the Eastern Front at his place." Within 1 hour of receiving that text message, I received a call from Zhenya. And Zhenya said, "Man," and I already knew. He said, "Man, do you know Pete's official name?" I said, "What?" He says, "Do you know Pete's official name?" I said, "Yeah. It's Peter Michael Fouche. He carries a British passport." And Zhenya said, "Greg, it's 99% Pete was just killed." And guys, I'm telling you straight tonight, and because you deserve to know, because we all love Pete. I was struggling, and I couldn't believe it, and I was hoping for that 1%. And I said, man, where are you getting this information from? He says, Greg, it's straight from there. I said, he just texted me. He goes, it's straight from there. It's 99%. I said, okay. So at that point, my entire trip changed. I don't know about you, Yana, but I became depressed, angry, sad. I mean, every gamut of emotions. How about you? And if I get too personal for you, I think it's
No,
fair for people
it's
to understand.
fine. I found out about it through a friend of mine who used to be in the 67th, and he messaged me and he asked me, he's like, you're Pete. Was he British? I'm like, yeah, well, he's South African, born and raised here, but he kind of prefers, because I mean, Pete is like national pride for me, right, at this point. And he messaged me, he's like, Pete from Project Konstantin. And I'm like, yes. He's like, he died. And I'm like, that's how you tell me? And I remember messaging him and I was like, no, please no. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I messaged Helena. Asked her to answer her phone. I phoned her and I asked her, when was the last time you heard from Pete? And she said, no, last night, like the previous day. And I told her, okay, I don't know how to tell you this, but I got this news. Please, can you check with someone if it's true? And we were holding out hope for like that, maybe wires got crossed. Maybe it wasn't Pete. Maybe it was someone else, And then she phoned me back and she said, it's Pete. And it's, yeah.
A lot of you guys are sending in super chats, and thank you for that. We will get it all to Pete and Project Konstantin. In fact, I'm going to talk. I never do unless we're raising money for a project. But I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes and tell you a little project we're going to do as the world. So once I had told Zhenya 99%, and Professor Gertis, thank you for being here, and thank everybody for being here. And all you guys, thank you for your super chats and everything. It was a few hours later that Yana texted me and says, are you in Ukraine? I need to tell you something. And I think you you said, can I call you? And the moment I identified Pete's name when I crossed the border, I was placed on a gag order. So you guys didn't hear from me. I didn't make any videos. I would message a little bit in our Discord, and that was very wonderful. All the support in the Discord, thank you. And if you haven't joined the Discord, I highly recommend it. It's great people there. The link is in the description. So Yana called and said, Greg. I said, Yana, I already know. And I'm sorry. And from that moment, Yana and Galina and I and Zhenya and the Ukrainian military started working like crazy. Why? Because Pete is not a Ukrainian. Pete is a British citizen. And I think he carries South African docs too, but British passport. And Pete, over the last year or so, had went viral quite a few times. And you guys, I know you've seen it. BBC News and Sky News, and it's everywhere about this hero on the front line losing his life in the war in Ukraine. So the gag order for me was really real because I can get in trouble and Zhenya can get in trouble if we released anything. Why? because we had to make sure the family was notified first, but then also Ukraine operates off like a 72-hour window for fallen soldiers where everything has to be locked and quiet because they want to make sure confirmation. Thank you for the coffees there, Lev Koval, and everybody donating. I'm really just focused on what Jan and I are sharing with you. So thank you. Because of that gag order, and I couldn't say a peep. And Zhenya and I talked, and I'm going to show you a picture of Anna in a minute. But Zhenya calls and says, Greg, Pete is famous, and we can have 0 mistakes. 0. So at that time, I talked to Yana, talked to Glenn. I said, guys, I know we've got to hold off. And then Project Konstantin, in proper order, after 72 hours and after confirmation of family notification, and I'm saying this all publicly with full permission from Ukrainian military tonight, we did it right. We did it one time, and we did it right. I had to call Ma Rose. And you guys, if you haven't seen Ma Rose, go back on my YouTube a month ago and you'll see me talking to Ma Rose and Pete. And I know it's on PK website as well, YouTube as well, I think.
I haven't added it yet.
Okay, I have Ma Rose on mine. Just go backwards. So I started getting numbers. I said, Yana, give me every number you have. And she gave me, Pete has a brother. His name is Paul. Pete has a daughter. Pete has a sister named Sally. Pete has another brother who has already passed away. And then there is Ma Rose, the 87-year-old legend who went to the front lines. I contacted Pete's sister first, Sally. And I said, Sally, this is Greg. Oh, in really deep British accent. Oh, Greg, I know you. I said, may I call you? She said, yeah. So I called her. I said, Sally, I need to talk to your mom. She goes, Greg, we're all here right now. My mom, myself, and my brother. I said, okay. I said, gather your family. And they gathered together. And Ma Rose looked right into that camera on that phone call. And she said, in that South African accent, Greg, Peter's gone, isn't he? I said, Ma Rose, I am sorry. But your son gave his life up for the Ukraine he loved. And she said, I don't want to believe it. And she started crying. She goes, but I somehow in my heart felt something. Well, that'll mess you up. And Paul was a trooper. And Sally was a trooper. And we talked for about a half hour. And the grieving process started, and we started talking about memories. And Ma Rose, this is all she would say. Greg, in that South African accent, thank you. Thank you for helping Peter. Please tell all the people in the world, thank you. Thank you for honoring my son. Thank you for supporting my son. Thank you for believing in my son. And it was like unbelievable power coming out of that dear lady. So over the last 6 days, we have worked very in depth with the Fouche family. Why? Because Pete is a British citizen and not a Ukrainian. Pete did unbelievable things for Ukraine. The British embassy got involved. The Ukrainian military got involved. And guys, I want to give kudos to the Ukrainian military and the British embassy right now. The British embassy, one of the consulants, his name is Aiden. He personally called Rose from the Kyiv embassy. Rose and the family was visited by other members of British-Ukrainian attachés relationships. It was done one time, and it was done right. At that point, we had to move to this question. Rose, do you want to come to Ukraine? And she looked at me, she says, Greg, no, I don't. Then Paul was thinking about it, and Sally said, no, I can't. Maybe Paul can go. We slept on it for 24 hours, and I called back, and Ma Rose said, Greg, our family needs to be together here, and we trust you guys there. So I would like to give you a power of attorney from me. And at that point, Ukrainian military, her name is Anna, who is responsible on a high level for soldiers that have lost their lives, and of course many people under her, she personally took Pete's case. She immediately started the power of attorney process. Ma Rose, Paul, and Sally went straight to the attorney. We got on a conference call. Ukraine sent the information they needed. I'm talking to the attorney and Ma Rose and Paul and Sally. I said, sir, is this possible? He said, not only is it possible, I'm doing it right now. And within 2 hours, and guys, if you know anything about Ukraine, and I know Rick is in here right now watching, if you know anything about Ukraine, I've received full power of attorney over the entire Fouche work here inside Ukraine. I mean everything. Banks, death certificates, identification, you name it, in 2 hours. That's like moving the Rock of Gibraltar. That kudos to Ukraine. At that point, Yana and Galina and I were talking about what to do and what'll happen. And you guys, Yana wanted to make sure that we honor Pete with a memorial here in Ukraine. And we really didn't know how that would happen. Galina went to the east.
She went to pack up all of Pete's belongings. She was the one doing that, and then she was kind of like, "Okay, who wants this? Who wants this?" But it was like things that some of the guys have already like had a look at, and then Halina went there. She was at the house, and we actually found out the commander told Halina of this really weird, I don't think you can call it a midnight snack, but this weird treat that Pete always used to have. And it's corn in a can that he mixes with condensed milk.
Yeah, he was a
And
freak.
I'm like, but the thing is, we have sweet corn that comes in a can in South Africa, okay? So Halina told me about this last night, and I was like, maybe Pete was just trying to recreate the Koo sweet corn. And she's like, yeah, but why didn't he tell me about this passion of his? But I mean, like just mixing
I've
sweet
seen his corn.
mixing corn.
So Yeah, cream corn, Denise, you've got it. I'm watching the chat the best I can. So at that point, we started, gathering, or Galena was gathering Pete's things there, and we started planning a funeral celebration. And we didn't know where, we didn't know when, we didn't know how. One of the major problems in Ukraine that we are expressing our polite dissatisfaction with is that Ukraine does not cover expenses of a fallen soldier if they are not carrying a Ukrainian passport. I do get it because there are so many international people here. So I'm not throwing Ukraine under the bus. I mean, they're broke as it is. I'm sitting here with no power, okay? It's reality. The front is tough right now. So I'm not throwing them under the bus. I just wish they did. But I will tell you this in defense of Ukraine. They have treated Peter like gold to the level they can. They have treated the Fouche family like gold. They have treated Project Konstantin, Yana, and Galina, and myself and Jania having to handle all of this like gold. So I told the military, I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to have a stream, one, before we have his celebration, and I'm just going to ask people to donate. You may ask, how much is Pete's funeral? And all of this stuff. A lot of money. Thousands and thousands. And I will explain it to you in a moment. But let's continue, and then we'll talk about that. If you want to give, and I'm going to conclude with this, to help Pete's funeral, I'm going to cut to this. You simply go to my website, gregterry.org. Our nonprofit in the United States will facilitate the payment of all Pete's final expenses, and any money that goes over top on this particular little project is going to be given as a gift to Ma Rose and Peter's daughter. That's already decided. It's going to be a blessing for his mother and his daughter. So you go to my website, gregterry.org. You can click there either to donate via PayPal. Sorry, I've been up since 3:30. Or donate via our online secure giving link, 501c3. Thank you. Let me get back to Yana. So we started working through all of this. We then received a call from Anna. Guys, I want to show you Anna right now. This is today. On my right is Anna, a Ukrainian hero. Yana, you may not know what she looks like, but there she is. That's Anna. There's Zhenya on the right. And the guy in the middle is the Catholic bishop here in Kyiv. We will talk about Pete's services in just a few minutes. But we met today. But that lady on the left right there, she may be my height, and she is a warrior. And I'm telling you right now, don't you dare mess with Anna. Anna is big responsibility in the Ukrainian military for the 200s. And 200s are people that have given their lives. She called and she said to Zhenya, and Zhenya called me, and she said, listen, not only am I personally handling Peter's case, but we're going to give him the highest honor possible. And I will tell you about it in just a moment. I want to be completely transparent with all of you because we're asking you to help fund this. And I know you will. I know you guys will just blow that PayPal and online giving portal up. Thank you. Thank you. And we will report and you will see it. And anything over going to Maro's and Pete's daughter, who's 15 years old. Yesterday we had a snafu. And I called Yana. And I said, Yana, I don't know if you pray or not, but you better start. We have a problem. And the problem was because Ukraine and the British Embassy were handling Pete's case at such a high level for certification, for validation, because Pete is famous, they halted the process temporarily. And we received the call that they were going to require DNA testing. And the DNA testing was because they could not move it from the 99% to the 100%, where they could take the DNA off the table. That would have moved Pete's services, everything, back 6 weeks. And I said, no. I said, Anna, fix it. Fix it. And she called back. And she says, Greg, Zhenya, I need you in Kyiv at 8:30 in the morning. Now we are up to today. And Greg, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go to the morgue and identify Peter. Physically. I said, no problem. I'll do it. Zhenya and I got very little rest last night, and we woke up at 2:30, left at 3:30. At 8 a.m., we were in Kyiv. At 8:30, we were at our first appointment. And then at 9:30, we had to go to the morgue there. And they were so nice. Unbelievably nice. And the medical examiner was there. And the Kyiv Regional Police Forensic Detective was there. This is the level they're treating Peter at. I mean, the top brass. They checked all my documents. They checked my power of attorney. They said, okay, you're legal. I said, okay. They said, let's go. Zhenya went, I went, Anna went, and then, of course, all the staff. We walked into the room, and this is not going to be morbid or downing. The moment I walked into the room, I looked at the table, and I had not even got where I had to get to very close. And I said, that's Peter. And the medical examiner looked at me and goes, I'm sorry, Greg, but you can't identify him from 10 meters away. You have to come over and you have to go through Peter's body with the examiner. I said, I understand, no problem. But that's Pete. And she goes, how do you know? I said, because I can prove it right now. He's wearing the same pair of pants that he wears every day. And she goes, no. It's not legal to identify by pants. I said, I understand, and I will identify him. But I'm telling you right now. She goes, how do you know this? I said, because the YouTube community, months and months ago, raised $300 to buy Peter pants, and Peter refused to buy pants. And the tear in the pocket, I can show you video of those pants. And I did. And she goes, they're his pants. I said, I told you they're his pants. She goes, okay. I mean, to be honest, Yana, I know you're smiling. It brought comfort to us. And there's like 8 or 9 people gathered around doing the examination. And we were comforted. And I'm going to tell you something. I walked over and I identified Peter. And I looked at the table and I saw a hero. The examiners standing around him knew who he was. Pete is famous inside Ukraine and outside, but inside, everybody has heard of that crazy Pete guy. And the medical examiner said, okay, I was told it's Peter Fouche, but I just can't do it. And she said, how can you positively identify him? I started going through his necklace and his chain, the things around his wrist, his ring, a scar on his finger. And the medical examiners were going, good, 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 good. Is there anything else you can tell us? I said, yeah, I can identify him 1,000,000%. I said, raise his right hand and look on his thumb. And under the thumbnail, you will see a black round spot that he always has, and he cannot get rid of it. Medical examiner raised the hand right in front of me, looked at the thumb, and there was the black spot. And they looked and they said, case closed. This is Peter Fouche. And it was honorable. Very, very honorable. From that moment, everything approved. All day, we've been in 6 meetings. Death certificates, morgue twice, police 3 hours for interview. I had to sign so many documents for Ma Rose. But our final destination today was the Catholic Church, where we met with the bishop. And that was the picture I showed you. He was wonderful. I just want you guys to know Peter's been treated like the hero he is. Yana is amazing, so strong, Galina, and all of you out there. That brings us to tomorrow. Yana, you ready to talk about tomorrow?
Yeah, I do have a question from chat. Someone
Go for it.
wants to know, like, why the identification process, like whether it's mandatory, if they know.
Okay, I
it's
can answer
Pete. So
that.
I think
I
just
can answer that.
explaining that. Yeah.
Okay, why is it 100%? Because Ma Rose and the family chose for Peter to be cremated. So, because of that choice, you either have to have family identification, and in Ukraine he has no family. I was given the POA, or DNA testing. That's the level Ukraine treats it. And especially for notable, and that's not to disrespect anybody, not notable, but they really cross every T and dot every I for notable. So because the family chose cremation, it took it to an entirely different level. Because if there was ever a problem, you could exhume. You can't exhume cremation. Okay. So I hope that helps you. Where will Peter be celebrated tomorrow? How about this? That, my friends, is Maidan. That is the Hotel Ukraina. And right there, where the revolution took place, where the Maidan events that were happening in 13 and 14 took place, Pete will be honored publicly right there. What will happen? The honor at Maidan will take place at 10:45 a.m. Eastern. Sorry. Kyiv. 10:45 a.m. Kyiv time. Sorry. I'm 10:45 a.m. Kyiv. It will begin for us at 8:30 in the morning, where we go meet people and military, etc. And we have to go to the morgue. And there we will escort Pete's body in a coffin to Maidan. That's about a 15-minute drive with no traffic. And I know you guys have seen the videos where you see like Ukrainians kneeling down when the procession comes through. It's like a procession of honor. That will happen tomorrow as the processional takes from the morgue to Maidan. Now, I can't give morgue location. I can give Maidan. And if you're out there going, okay, you can't tell us where and when, OPSEC. Guys, we have full permission to tell the world, Maidan, 10:45 a.m., public celebration of the life of Peter Fouche. And I asked them, are you sure? A lot of people will be there. They go, Greg, we have Kyiv defended. We're honoring our hero, and people will know what time and what place. Period. I said, okay, can I share? Yes, please share. 10:45 a.m., public ceremony, Maidan. From there, we will then have another processional up the hill to the Catholic Church. Take a look at this. This is where we will have Mass for Peter Michael Fouche. It is a beautiful place. As I shared with you earlier, this is the bishop of the Catholic diocese. I think that's the proper word here in Kyiv. Let me tell you, Yana, you don't even know this, but let me tell you this. Today, when we were in the meeting with him, we called Ma Rose. We called Sally. We called Paul. And he speaks really good English. Let me tell you the quality of the Bishop of Kyiv. He was so gentle and so kind. He requested that I would do the scripture reading in English, and we film it so that Ma Rose can see it above and beyond. And are you ready for this one, Yana? August the 2nd, the Bishop of Kyiv is making a trip to London for business. He will have coffee and personally consult the Fouche family.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It's incredible. The Mass will last a couple of hours. And from there, we will have another processional to the crematorium. That becomes a smaller processional. That one's private. And it's military and Galina and certain reps and all of that stuff. It then goes huge crowd, church huge crowd, smaller processional to the crematorium. At the crematorium, Peter will be cremated. And according to the wishes of Ma Rose, Peter will be placed into 3 urns. And guys, I want you to know, marble, beautiful urns. Only the best for Peter Fouche. He may not have bought new pants, but we're buying the best urn. At that point, ashes will be, and I'll explain how in just a moment, transported to their family. I'll explain that. One portion, according to the request of Galina, his fiancée, will be scattered on Hero Hill in Kyiv. And guys, you do know that Pete was engaged to Galina, but you do not know that they had asked me to marry them. And I was looking forward to that. Galina has been so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, she's a rock. She's
Unbelievable.
she's amazing.
Ma Rose requested that a third section of ashes would be spread in the Donetsk Oblast, where Peter loved and fought for Ukraine. Just a couple of hours ago, Anna informed Zhenya and I, and actually Andrew Mercado, possibly Rick the Ukrainian, will be traveling with us for a very small run to the front. We will be hitting all of the frontline areas, and as a part of that, we will be spreading Peter's ashes at the request of Ma Rose. And Anna told us today that she's very confident that we can spread them very close to where Peter gave his life safely, relatively safely. And that's the plan in the Donetsk region. We'll make a quick run, and then I will come back to Khmelnytsky, my home city, on Friday. And Saturday, I will travel with Peter's beautiful marble urn to Warsaw, Poland, where as of right now, it looks like Paul and Sally are going to fly to Warsaw, and there I will meet them personally. I will transfer Peter's remains to the sister and brother, and then they will take them to Ma Rose. And this is the plan. And I want you guys to know, in my Discord, I was telling people that we do it one time, and we do it right. The reason this funeral is costing so much money, and it's going to be thousands and thousands, but everything is being done by the letter of the law. I actually have to get a certification to carry Peter's ashes out of Ukraine and cross the border. Just the one piece of paper for certification is 700 euros. Just so I can legally, well, it's a soldier, and you can't just run across the border with an urn. So it's by the book. We're doing everything perfectly right. Yana, I saw a question in the chat. Do you know anything about Pete's cat or dogs? We have a lot of... Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So Helena is taking Emma, the cat. Okay, so Pete had two cats. It's just one now because the one died. But the orange cat, Emma, she's still alive. And she is going with Helena to Odessa. Because Helena's daughter really loves that cat, and Pete would always phone them and show them videos of like this little red terrorist, which is what they call the cat. The little red terrorist. As for Blackie, the dog, Halina is still there. He's got two options. So Halina is still thinking about it. So one would be he comes home with her, but that would be a bit difficult for her because she already has a massive Rottweiler. Super sweet dog, but having two dogs and a cat might be a bit extreme. The other thing she's looking into is to have Blackie become a service dog for the military, a therapy dog, basically, at a rehab center in Odessa, where it's great because he's used to people in uniform, so he's not freaked out by that. And with Pete having been gone so long, he will be there and then he comes back and Blackie doesn't really have abandonment issues because he's so used to changing owners. And he was before he came to Pete, he was a street dog, So he's so used to different people that it's perfect for him to go there. So, but I will find out from Halina on the specifics in the final choice. It will probably be that rehab center in Odessa.
Awesome. The bottom line is Pete's animals will also be cared for. Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. I see you guys in the chat talking about, it's not abnormal for funerals. Yes, in the U.S. they cost about $10,000, and by the time this is all said and done, that's probably where we'll be. I just like giving exact numbers, and that's okay. We'll
you like giving exact numbers. Pete's thing, whenever I ask him, I'm like, how much of this do we need? He's like, how long is a piece of string? To the point. Before I made Pete, I've never heard that expression. But after a while, I'm like, hey, we need to raise money. How much do you need? How much will the vehicle repairs cost? He's like, how long is a piece of string? And I'm like, no, I need specifics. I need a target. I can't just...
That's Peter.
But...
Peter was amazing. And guys, I have, and I know Yana does as well, tons of video I've never shared of Pete. And I put a poll in my Discord over the next few weeks. Would you guys like to see some stuff of Pete and things you've never seen before? And it was, of course, 100% yes. So please make sure if you're here and you just popped over from Twitter or something, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and also Project Konstantin. And guys, we'll be putting a lot more stuff up honoring Peter over the days to come. Now, last question I saw. Will there be a live stream tomorrow? Yes, there will. Now, let me explain. Okay. I love all of you people so much. All right. Today, I told Zhenya, I said, man, people love Pete, and we're going to take care of him and his family. Find me a professional cameraman and hire them.
For real?
Yes, for real.
Wow. That's awesome.
So tonight, Zhenya hired a professional videographer. Hey, we do it one time, we do it right, we go big, or we go home.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, I have so many responsibilities being the family rep. I'm going to have my stuff and I'm going to pop live here and there, and I want to explain that to everybody. I have another camera that'll be rolling video, but we're going to have another professional person just shooting video everywhere, and then they will provide me the video. I will provide it to Yana and Project Konstantin, all of it, and myself, and we'll edit it up and share it for the world to see. When the final conversation with Ma Rose, I asked her about the funeral and the publicity of it. And that's right when the BBC article came out. And she said, I said, Ma Rose, do you want me to get video of the funeral? And this is what she said in her South African accent. By all means, Gregory, please. I want to see everything. I said, okay. And then this is what Ma Rose said. She said, are you going to live stream a little bit? I said, Ma Rose, it's going to be like a 6-hour day. So would it be okay if I just do a few live streams here and there of very key things? And she says, by all means, I'm expecting it. I want to see. So, guys, there will be in and out live streams tomorrow. I know that Rick is in here. Rick, you have permission to roll, man.
Yeah, Rick, I'm counting on you because I've seen your ass off streams.
You have permission to roll live from Ma Rose. So, guys, there'll be multiple channels running some live. We also will be filming the entire thing to be shared later. And here's the kicker. Today we're with the Bishop of Kyiv, and he says, Greg, I want you to do the scripture reading in English and show it to Ma Rose. I said, okay. Like, film it? He goes, no, stream it. I said, is that permitted? Well, by all means. So, guys, tomorrow you're going to have a little bit of everything to share with the world. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate all of you, Yana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Like, just, I've sent Sally, Pete's sister, I take like screenshots of like YouTube comments and things people posted on Twitter, and I take all of that and I asked her, I'm like, hey, we're getting a lot of support. Do you want to see? She's like, yeah, we'd love to see that. And I just bombarded her with screenshots. Yeah, and I've sent her some of the tribute videos that you guys have made as well. So yeah, she's seeing that, the family's seeing that, and yeah, they really appreciate all the support and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and guys, I want you to know, they watch some of these streams. They see your comments. I will be sharing with them personally tomorrow your comments, your support. And they do know. And I'm not going to try to be emotional on you here at the end. But after I had to tell the family, that was brutal. And to be honest, today was very tough. Very. I think I texted you, Yana, during it, and I said, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. My wife was very supportive. My pastor back in Pennsylvania, very supportive, encouraging. It was a challenge. But I want you guys to be encouraged.
I just remember your wife during the one stream. She told Pete that he's welcome, like there's a place for him at the dinner table. He's welcome to come. And whenever I think of you, I think of your wife telling Pete that. And
Pete,
it's just...
Pete knew my wife.
He just had a way of like getting into people's hearts. Like you meet him once, and he remembers your name, he remembers your face, and he remembers like things about you. And it's just that interest he had in like just everyday people, just and believing the best of people. Like after everything he's seen. That's such a good heart. So,
thank you for that, Yana. Yeah, I can tell you, Peter knew all of my family, my wife, my children, my parents. My mother was in love with Pete. My mother was in love with Pete, and she told him, "Your plate's waiting at the table. I'll be there, Mama. I'll be there, Mama." And let me tell you two final things. I'm pushing a long time being up. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Our pastor, Pastor Kent, who administrates in our 501c3 there, his initials are PK. Pastor Kent. And when Pete first met Kent, Pete said, "Huh, you're my man. It's from PK to PK. We're a team." Let me tell you this, guys. Just a few weeks ago, Pastor Kent's father died relatively unexpectedly. I told Pete, and Pete immediately sent a video to me and said, "Take that to Pastor Kent." And he consoled him on the loss of his father. I have the video. It's Pete Fouche. It's Pete Fouche. And I will tell you this, guys, when I told the family, and they were heartbroken, I just took a leap of faith there, and I know the world would respond. I said, "Guys, you will pay $0. And Ma Rose just looked up and said, "What?" I said, "The world will honor your son and take care of everything." And she just started crying and said, "Thank you." And I will tell you this, and I'll be done. Ma Rose, maybe 2 days ago, we're talking, and she said, "Greg." I said, "Yes, Ma Rose. Would it be possible you could help me make a video? I want to make a video and thank the world for their support and loving my son." I said, "Ma Rose, not only will I help you make that video, but I will share it to every YouTuber on the planet, and you will become like the Queen of England." Oh my! Oh my! So guys, you have that to look forward to as well. So thank you.
I just want to give you guys some insight into Pete's family. When I sent Sally the screenshots of like everyone, and this is like from Ukrainians and non-Ukrainians. Like I had translate on for the Ukrainian tweets and everything. And she just said, "Very powerful, and our hearts go out to all Ukrainians and others that have died in this horrific war." And I mean, like, just that thing of like, despite the grief she's going through, like they're still thinking about everyone else. And that is just, that tells you of like, yeah,
Well,
the kind of people they were, or the kind of people they are. Yeah.
when I left the morgue today, Sally called me, and in tears, and she says, "Greg, I know how difficult that was, and I'm sorry that you had to do that for us. But I'm thankful that you were there to do it for Pete." It was, they are, what was Pete's video? Just last
Salt
week?
of the earth.
They're salt of the earth. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for already donating on the secure links on gregterry.org. And listen, I will update you guys. You know it. Anything that goes over the funeral cost, we will donate to Pete's mom, Ma Rose, and to his daughter. You can gregterry.org, click donate. It's either via PayPal or via our nonprofit. We've been doing it for years. You guys know. Thank you. I'll tell you this. They may be the finest family I've ever met in my life. The Fouche family. So, I saw Duncan Yu's message in the super chat. He says, please, tonight, no GGs. This is all for Pete. So for those of you that have donated via super chats or bought memberships, for tonight, I say a thank you to you. You know who you are. But tonight it's all about Pete. So thank you. So guys, get some rest. In 12 hours, we're going to be celebrating Peter Michael Fouche. Oh, let me get you, Yana. There you are. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Mark Bam.
I'm asleep.
It's fine. Mark Bam said he'll never be able to say "for Pete's sake" without thinking of Pete again.
Oh, that's so good. For Pete's sake.
Yeah. So like.
Listen, guys.
But yeah.
Thank you. Pat Chellin, yes, there are alternative donation methods as well. You can contact Yana. Yes. Thank you, guys. King Raccoon, thank you for dropping that in the chat, the link.
Hey, Merck's here. Hey, Merck.
Yeah, there's Mercy. So, guys, I just could keep talking about Pete forever. And we will tomorrow. Going to get some rest. All of you get some rest. Yana will give you closing thoughts or words, and we'll say goodnight.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for supporting us. And I mean, as I know, Steve in the PK chat said, Pete was everyone's Pete. He wasn't like the family's. He was like, he's basically like public property. I mean, like, so yeah, just thank you for supporting us, and we also understand how hard it is for everyone else. But yeah, thank you for sticking it out with us and for being here and for honoring Pete.
Thank you, guys. I will tell you this: a number of you had sent me things to bring to Pete on this trip, because I was going really straight to Pete. And all of you really have said, Greg, I know you have those things for Pete. Please do what you think is best with them. Some of them I will put with Pete tomorrow. And some of them I think I'm going to take to Donetsk and going to lay them with his ashes there. So you guys that did give things for me to give to Pete, it will happen. It'll be with him. So you guys have a good night. Rick, thank you for being in here. All of you guys, Professor Gertis was in here. Much love and respect to all of you. And we'll see you tomorrow and do the very best we can to share the celebration of Pete with you. You guys have a good night. And no outro tonight. We're just going to say good night. Yana, my batteries are dying. I love you.
It's fine.
And I'll see you. I'll talk to you later.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Be blessed. We'll talk to you
Night,
tomorrow.
everyone.
Good night.
Okay. Bye.